Hello and welcome to this video as part of our productivity series on Windows 10 and Microsoft 365. Today we're going to be talking with three partners around Microsoft 365 licensing and kind of a couple of the ideas around it, a couple of the pitfalls, and hopefully some advice that might be able to help you. So today joining us we have Philip Mercer from Power On Platforms, Margaret Totten from GCI, and Oliver Hawkins from OCSL. And so to kick us off really, Max, if it's okay by yourself, could you give me a little bit of a feeling in regards to what's inside M365?
Yeah, okay. In a nutshell, Microsoft 365 brings together the best of Microsoft's product suite. So Office 365, EMS and Windows 10 into one easy consolidated license. So it gives you everything you need for secure productive enterprise, for business and frontline workforce, combining the productivity tools like Office 365, security services, your desktop. We've seen a really effective adoption and usage with organisations pulling these tools together, and it's unique in the fact that it is one of the few things we see. It's better for the users because it's seamless integration, it's better for IT because of the security, and it's better for the business because it's cost efficient.
Okay, that's excellent. And Phil, could you give us a bit of an idea on, kind of how does a conversation usually come about with kind of Microsoft 365? I mean, what's kind of the starting point with, because I'm guessing not many people wake up in the morning and go, I'd like to buy M365 this morning. Yeah. So could you give us a little bit of an idea?
It's normally a question of what's that?
Yeah.
But yeah, well actually, for my sins, I used to be a licensing consultant, so I've kind of worked with a lot of different customers over the years, both from a technology and from a commercial aspect. So typically speaking, I kind of say slightly glibly that M365 or the Microsoft line licensing models are very much built to be a self-fulfilling prophecy. So essentially what I mean by that is the more you buy, the more it makes sense to buy more. And the reason really is because of the way the actual licensing is structured. So typically speaking, you're going to have multiple different components of 365, the EMS side and Windows 10, and you've got then essentially elements of different capabilities built across the three. So what I mean by that is like, say, threat detection. If you're looking at a third party, you may have a threat detection suites. Microsoft has threat detection within O365, within Windows 10, and within EMS. So really then you start to look to actually take the different moving components and bring them together to really bring you what you need. What that typically then starts to say is actually, well, I need some of that, some of that, some of that. Right, actually, the bundle makes sense. And then it just actually then starts to engage the conversation really around kind of thinking around, well, actually, what are we trying to do? And then what are we trying to deliver? And then marrying that back to the licensing is a really important part. And that's normally where, kind of people find challenges because there is then so much within the bundle. So taking that time to understand it is really important.
Okay, that's excellent. And Oliver, when we think about kind of the changing options available for customers and partners, can you give a bit of a bit of an idea around? Because obviously, I'm aware that some people watching this will hear terms like EA, CSP, kind of MPSA,
EMS,
Open. You start hearing acronym city, and could you give us a bit of your experience around kind of what options are there for customers?
Yeah, no problem. I think if we start with the licensing and back to the bundles, as Phil was talking about, at OCSL we tend to assess first. So we'll look at an organisation and what they want to achieve around digital transformation and the use of the products and the individual products, and start to understand what the job roles are, how they could potentially take advantage of these things. And we'll start to profile them and ultimately put them into buckets and then align the individual bundles and types of license to those individual users. And I think that's what's been quite refreshing about Microsoft 365 and the products within it, is that they are very flexible. The bundles do seem to fit most organisations, be it a mobile worker out in the field through to a power user internally within an organisation. We're a cloud solution provider, so we're able to offer licenses on a monthly pay-as-you-go model, if you like, which for some organisations is a really good way, especially if they've got, I don't know, a transient workforce, or they change, or they need to hire in people for demand and things like that. CSP really plays quite nicely for that. But there's also EA options as well. So, if it's a much larger organisation, potentially fairly static, and their roles don't change within an organisation, then there's other methods for that as well. I think with all of the products, that monthly consumption model is absolutely what's appealing. It's a different way of looking at, empowering your users rather than having that one license stuck to one person for a year type scenario. So yeah, I think that's what I'd say.
No, that's absolutely brilliant. And I mean, as I say, we're seeing a massive shift in the market where it's gone are the days where people are just buying things and not, planning on utilising the full kind of component areas. And one area that's really been close to my heart has always been kind of people change management, and the kind of the approach is to kind of ensure that, IT projects are, meeting what the ROI was originally agreed. They're doing it and ensuring that it's actually adding value to the end users. And you're bringing the end users with you on the journey of where you want to get to and why are we going this direction. And Margaret, I know obviously you're a kind of a certified kind of people change management consultant. Could you just give us a bit of your thoughts on how it kind of feeds into the licensing, and just to prove that I'm not going insane by suddenly talking about people change management during a licensing conversation? No,
it definitely does, because you talked earlier on about how people have to understand why should they take the bundle. Why does the bundle work? So profiling is really important in that. One of the reasons we're so passionate about change management, because we have to understand at the end of the day we're working with people here. The users are people who are trying to do their jobs and trying to be productive for the company, and the organisation is looking for productivity but also looking for the employees to be happy. And profiling is vital to that, because we have to understand that not everybody works the same way. Earlier on we discussed the 5 generations of workforce in the one place. Everyone has a different way of working, and you can't expect someone working in a fixed space like an office to work in the exact same way as someone who is field-based, or in some of our customers they could be field-based somewhere in Dubai with very limited access to things like the internet. So we found the best way to do that is to look at what each user needs and how that drives the business, and bringing together the different parts of the business. So when you're talking to IT and finance about why they should go for the bundle, why should we go for Office 365, EMS and Windows 10, what we're finding is when we're doing the profile for users and we're bringing together representatives from all parts of the business to talk about what this technological change means to them, it actually starts to make the business case for us. Because when we were just looking at Office 365, and then we start to say, but when you look at your security, because you do have members of staff working in foreign countries who are using multiple computers, which makes you very, very easy to be hacked, and also we should be giving them more productive enterprise system to use, the bundle starts to make sense, because they understand that there's great cases of people using Skype for Business amongst board members to encourage collaboration, and there's people using Dynamics 365 for sales and for mobile working, HR using SharePoint. So profiling users and truly understanding what the end user wants and needs is the best way for the organisation to understand why this bundle works for them, how productivity plays into security and why they need all of it. And achieving the successful rollout of that and driving the adoption means truly understanding how those users work. It's not just a license buy. You're not just buying a license now to plug into your computer to get your computer to work. You're actually changing the way people work, the way you work and your employees work, and you have to understand how that fits with each role.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we all agree that it's really important to, in any of these conversations, put the end user first and look in a serious way around profiling those users and ensuring that we're licensing, not licensing for licensing's sake, but actually ensuring that people are getting the benefit of what they're procuring. So thank you all again for your time. I hope this video has been of use. We haven't gone into too much detail about licensing, so I hope you didn't just turn it off the moment you heard the topic of licensing. So obviously this video we were joined by Philip Mercer, Margaret Totten and Oliver Hawkins, and thank you very much for your time and attention. I hope it's given you a bit of an idea around licensing doesn't necessarily just have to be a boring conversation. Thanks very much.